Hey people, Intro here, 3v3 faction war. This is Typhon Maya and Orks versus Tyranids. For the blue Orky team, Grimm is a Kommando knob, an infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins with a twin link shooter, and this is the Freebooters DLC. Alongside, also rocking the Freebooters, is SchmusCriminal and a Mekboy, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat with a bunch of Orky gadgets. Rounding off the team for the Orks, NightHog and a Warboss, a melee hero walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. And this is the Goth's elite scheme. For the red Tyranids, couple of Ravener alphas. This is Peroncho Fajador and this is Gigandy. These are tunneling heroes with great mobility, powerful offense and a bit of support. Begin with ranged weapons. And rounding off the teams, Ziltoid the Omniscient as a Hive Tyrant. A durable hero walking through objects, cannot be suppressed, bringing offense, disruption and support. Begins in melee with a basic synapse. I shall call you Salazar. Kicking off in the south then, two heavyweights, Warboss and Hive Tyrant. Hive Tyrant is going straight for the sluggers, I think. Warboss gets a good stomp on some termagants and hormagaunts. Special attack there from Salazar. Now goes straight after the sluggers again. He can get surrounded early on by melee squads. Some surprises going for those sluggers. These sluggers are getting wrecked, by the way, in the mid. SchmusCriminal drops them. They took, a bunch of ranged firepower from the Ravener. Maybe two Raveners and double termagants there. And I think they were fighting hormagaunts initially. Can you get away, Salazar? You saw those termagants briefly go into melee there to try and buy him some time. These shooter boys need to stop moving, plant their feet and shoot, but they did not do so. I think they would have killed the Hive Tyrant if they did that. They would have downed him. The shooter boy is getting caught out of position. That was SchmusCriminal there. Almost wiped. Are we going to see replaced sluggers? We do see electric armor chasing down some termagants, but I think he needs to teleport away. And now we could see the power being hit through the mid. Hormagaunts doing some decapping, but they're taking some Daka. Looks like the power's safer now because these guys are going to try and engage these double shooters here. First power spent by NightHog is on some looters. We saw the first power spent here by Shmuz. What about Grimm? Big shooters coming up, looks like. More range, more Daka, and you get aim in. What's that? To suppress stuff. Which is handy when there's a bunch of hormagaunts running at you. I wonder if we'll see some melee Raveners alphas. I like to see the melee fellas. Double melee Ravener alphas in the mid would be quite fun, eh? Warrior Brood here. These guys provide a basic synapse and they're quite powerful melee units in their own right. Leaping into combat, some power melee talons. Those looters moving the hell away from him right now. And they got the leap, look at that. Knocking them all over the gaff. And the looters have to run. That death gun is a setup weapon. Which is why they couldn't fire on those guys. They couldn't afford to risk the setup. Shooter boy is almost wiping again for Shmuz. Warboss gets frustrated by the crippling poison. And they can do another one of those. Oh, but they didn't do it. I guess they thought they wouldn't need it, and they were right. Warboss runs away. We've got a Ravener Brood here for Ziltoid, the Omniscient. Where's Salazar, though? He's breaking this contested power node. Maybe we'll see those rending talons here, because he got massively threatened by those sluggers earlier. Looters doing their thing now with the death gun. Will suppress any infantry that gets close. Also deal huge amounts of damage the closer it gets. And there's not a lot of room here to maneuver. You could go around the long way and get a flank, maybe. Shooter boys just got their knob leader there. Mekboy coming back towards the mid. Termagants trying to decap that central VP. Can they get these hormagaunts down with the Daka on retreat? They can. Hormagaunts wiped. I don't think they had adrenal glands, but didn't actually spot it. Warrior Brood with a barbed strangler up for Peroncho Fajador. More looters, in fact, looters all round. SchmusCriminal did not replace the sluggers. Maybe thought they'd be stopped too much by crippling poison and things. Because there's 4 termagants in the mid, isn't there? Yeah. This Warrior Brood still in melee mode for Gigandy. What is this? That is Salazar, the Hive Tyrant, in the back lines. Just toughing out that death gun fire. While these guys try to bash power, but it's going to be slow going with just double termagants. And the looters get out there quickly enough to stop this node going down, because that's 125 to rebuild. They should be trying to bash the gens here. Much quicker to take down gens, and they're only slightly cheaper to build. They're 100 to build, but they're much easier to take down. Kommando has gone melee mode with the assassin's knife. Tripper shot is amazing, and he can stab something really hard in the face using assassinate. Warrior Brood coming in, taking so much damage though while they do. Sluggers with burners are a threat now. The burners count as power melee weapons, and the warriors are heavy infantry. Stun bomb, that's a good stun bomb. And then the Kommando runs, and there's some electric armor. Surely we're going to see like triple weird boys here, right? You would expect that. Warrior Brood losing a model, that Synapse Backlash going off. Termagant's affected by it. Yes, you will be affected by a Synapse Backlash, even if it's not your own unit, such as that. And in turn, of course, you are affected by a Synapse, even if it's from an allied Tyranid unit, not your own. What's this? It's Orks pushing through to the power. Got a War Banner. Salazar gets in there. He's got improved Synapse and Psychic Scream, but I'm not sure he's going to make it back to his Hive node. Down he goes. Shooter boys of Daka. Hormagaunt's not really getting involved. And can they bash the power now? They've got burners on the sluggers. They've got firepower. They're covered by the looters as well. And all buffed up by the boss pole, looks like. Yep. And we have Bang Bang Hammer to buff damage. Warboss is gonna... Oh, he's trying to decap the wreck point, I think, but he took too much damage there. They got one gen down. Wow, Warboss falls. NightHog just losing track of his Warboss for a second there, and that's all it takes sometimes. Sluggers run. Shooter boys run. 471 to 436 on the VPs. Can these guys kill a Warrior Brood? Nope, they're going to get overrun and flee. So, only lost a single gen. That wasn't too bad for the Tyranids. Up in the north, contested power is going to turn blue, I guess. Commando's level 2 now. Mekboy is also level 2. Warboss down level 1. What about these Raveners? We're going to see the Synapse aura for damage for Peroncho. Gigandy's level 2. And Salazar, the Hive Tyrant, is down level 1. Can they protect the node? It's going to be tough. Is it worth committing to this fight to stop that being decapped? Peroncho seems to think so. Guess it's keeping these guys from hitting this more important natural power. But the Orks do have that mid point. Warboss. Oh, he got revived by the teleporting Mekboy. Nicely done. Level 3 now, this guy, with a custom force field. The Warboss had to put Ardboys on himself to escape there. It's one of his global abilities. Capillary Tower coming up. This will passively buff nearby Tyranids. You can also spawn mines out of it, which is handy. Can they get onto these looters, though? The Ravena Alpha can burrow. These Ravena Brood can burrow strike. There we go. Boom. Knocking them back. Being put on melee mode to keep them tied up. And some stick bombers enter the fight. And there's some stick bombs. They're also pretty competent melee combatants, these guys. Now they chuck their stun bombs. Nicely done. Power defended. Is it worth repairing that node? I don't think so. You want to counter push as quick as possible, I think. There's Psychic Scream, affecting those sluggers, debuffing their damage by 30%. I believe it's 15 seconds, which is quite good. Usually a fight would last around that amount of time. War Banner up here. Not sure what these sluggers are doing, though. Are they stuck behind it? I think they were, actually, maybe. We do have a weird boy for, yep, all 3 Orc players. These guys are so good at dealing with groups of infantry, which is most of the Tyranid roster when you're in Tier 2. They do have a Tyrant Guard, maybe, that could come and pressure the weird boys without getting stunned. And the Tyrant Guard is on the way for Ziltoid there. 471 to 293. Warboss. Oh, he still hasn't leveled yet, you know. He's probably quite angry about that. Gets a good stomp. Levels up now, having killed a Hormagaunt with his giant hammer. Oh, what's this? All sorts of gubbins going on. Looks like a warp vomit has stunned those Tyranids. And there were some bombs in there. And there's electric armor in there too. Genestealer is taking huge amounts of damage. They're not moving, they're idle. That's why they are infiltrated. Gigandy's not moving these guys. The other guys are getting stuck in on the Mekboy and they take him down. These are a melee superiority unit. Power melee damage by default, but they can get heavy melee later on. They heal on hit, and they can use Adrenal Rush to get more speed and more damage and more healing. All sorts of good stuff. Level 3 Kommando now, reviving the Mekboy with a Mega Boom kit. Mekboy is almost level 4. Yeah, it even boosts the stun bomb, this thing. It's quite nice. Oh, look at that. A Hive node. One of the rarest things you'll see in Dawn of War 2. This is produced by the Ravener Alpha, providing protection to units around it. It also, I think, damages enemies that get close and slows them down a bit. And I think oh wow, Foot of Gork almost one-shotted it. 471 to 240 on the VPs. We have a Venom Brood in with the range Synapse, which is boosting those double termagants there. Electric Armor is dangerous though, eh? Mekboy runs, and this is now Gigandy pushing through the mid with those double Genestealers buffed by melee Synapse. And all of them shut down by a Warp Vomit. Oh, some of them got through, look at that. Those guys got through. I wonder if it's worth adding melee Raveners to this so they can Burrow Strike first on the Weird Boy maybe. They got him down, but I expect he's going to be replaced by Grimm. And Shmoo still has one, and NightHog still has one. But yeah, if he could Burrow Strike first as a Foot of Gork. It's weird. Gigandy doesn't seem to use the other Genestealer squad. He pushes one of them on, and the other one kind of hangs back a bit. Let's have a look at what's going on south. Some stuff is leveling up, including Salazar, the Hive Tyrant. He's got the Tyrant God in there, look. Big old monstrous creature with super heavy infantry armor. Splash damage, heavy melee, and a big bucket hit points. And Orks don't have plasma weaponry to efficiently fight this guy. They do have tank busters, of course. And anti-vehicle weapons will do the job for you against the Tyrant Guard. Just not as efficiently as, like, plasma weaponry. I guess the blaster flash kits will be good later on, maybe. With their psychic damage, although it's more area of effect. That's where the big strength of it comes from. Okay. Genestealers again, supported by the Warriors. These guys are a bit far ahead, though, to be in melee Synapse range. Don't seem too bothered by it, and the Orcs just flee. Yeah, if they don't have that Warp Vomit in their pocket, what can they do? Guess they can get some looters up, maybe, to try and suppress the big blob. Warp Vomit is so good. They can also stun bomb, I guess, from the stick bombers, and of course from the Kommando himself. 471, 195 on the VPs. Mekboy levels up. Teleports in, does some electric gubbins. Stop those guys decapping, I guess. And the Tyranids are capping the mid. They're so far behind on VPs, though. They're kind of dipping into fights, doing quite well, but they can't stay. They don't have the staying power with these armies at the moment. Genestealers trying to decap the power. They couldn't manage it, but they did bash all of it down. And they did take the mid, but can they solidify on it a bit and dig in? They got some Warriors and some Venom Brood here. There's that tripper shot. So good. And look at the range on it too. Knockback, stun from range. And then the stun bombs come in. Those guys having to flee. It's like within Tyranid nature to just push on and on and on. Same thing with the Orks, I guess. Once they break through, they're very unlikely to stay where they are and try to dig in on their position like Imperial Guard or Space Marines might do. They will just keep on running through. The Warboss now, with a Power Claw, had enough of this buffing other people like with his Bang Bang Hammer. He's also got Cyborg Implants. Just saw Psychic Scream. Oh, Rending Cannons are in, so that was a Seismic Roar. Can they deal with the Tyrant Guard? Use your choppers on the Slugger Boys. Getting it down. Power Claw helping out as well. The Tank Busters are there, and down goes the Tyrant Guard. Tank Busters now can maybe help bash power. Oh, there's nothing much to bash there, is there? 445 to 182 on the VPs. Orks have the mid back. Tyranids running out of VPs here, under 200. Orks up over 400. The Weird Boy being replaced, of course. We've got double Commandos up in Tier 3 for SchmusCriminal. Very versatile infantry, can cap fast, can disrupt, can chuck firebombs, can do some anti-vehicle, all sorts of stuff. And of course can infiltrate. There's Tier 3 for NightHog, there's Tier 3 for Ziltoid. Can the Tyranids get their Tier 3 rolling though? Need to do it soon. Power bashing Orks there. Warboss grabbed that power point as well as level 2. Already up over 1,000 hit points. Not that far behind the Hive Tyrant's hit point count actually. Going back to the Bang Bang Hammer. I guess the power core really was specifically for the Tyrant Guard. Crippling poison on the Warboss and he runs away. This guy got stunned by the cyborg implants. Big stomp. 445 to 139. Orks are dominating at the moment. Not really seeing these Gene Stealers do their thing. They did take out that Weird Boy. But other than that, they seem to be getting stopped. And this Ravener Alpha's down in a difficult to revive position. What about this guy? He's got a Synapse Aura for damage. Yeah, I think melee Raveners might have done well to kind of lead the line, draw some fire, allow the Gene Stealers to get in, maybe. Carnifex coming out here for Peroncho, and the Tyranids are going to cap the mid, it looks like. Nob Squad on the way for SchmusCriminal. Lots of Dakar on those fellas. Oops, I'm always knocking stuff over on my desk. Single warrior here. What's going on? Oh, they're running away. They're a bit far apart there because of the custom force field knocking stuff around. Level 6 Mekboy. I think that electric shock did a lot of work. Here's the Carnifex though. No upgrades at the moment, but it's a big melee beastie at the moment. Also, Orks are piling on through with a tank buster barrage. Do you keep the Carnifex here? I think you back it off. Because this Warboss would go back to the Power Claw, put some pressure on it. And we know that there's tank busters around too. Indeed there is. Weird Boys can also get decent anti-vehicle damage off their basic attack. Warboss is taking out the Termagants in there. We have some... Oh, this is going to be a Stranglethorn, is it? Yep. Just spawned some Spore Mines in there. 426 to 129 on the VPs. 1-to-1 cap, but the Orks are taking the mid. Here's those Gene Stealers again. Maybe they can push alongside the Carnifex while it suppresses stuff. Doing what they can, but they are persuaded to leave by lots of Dakar and that awesome Warp Vomit. Here's a Nob Squad. The Gene Stealers should do pretty well against these guys. Tyrant form. Weird Boy chucks those guys out of it, which was nice of him with his over there and his bigger brains. What was that? Oh, foot of Gork. Set up by a stun bomb, I think. Kommando Nob level 5. Now fighting a Ravener Alpha who's getting Toxic Miasma to deal some damage around himself. Not sure how much the Nob Squad is going to care about that. I think it's only piercing damage, isn't it? But I guess it hits all of the models, so... Well, there it is. Yeah, 10 piercing damage in range. Radius 7. Gives them a bit more health. Down to 92 VPs, though the Tyranids need to cap the mid there. Bud doesn't seem interested. Okay, his Termagant's going to cap. And instantly get knocked off it maybe by the Weird Boy there. Still capping at the moment. And we still have double Gene Stealers in play, and Carnifexes are starting to march out. And I think they should all go, these two should go Thornback. Charge in there, fight the Nob Squad in melee, and the Stranglethorn can back them up. But we shall see. How are we looking on Ziltoid? Still level 2. He's fallen behind the curve a bit compared to the Warboss, hasn't he? Got that Power Claw up again now. Down to 83 VPs, the Tyranids. And they can't cap the mid. They're getting bombed by the Stick Bombers. Yeah, couldn't quite get it. And a battle wagon is up now. Carnifex is indeed getting thrown back to Ziltoid. What's the other one going to get? I wonder if he maybe consider the Venom Cannon once he sees the battle wagon up here. The good thing about the Venom Cannon Carnifex is that you get the Bioplasma as well, which is amazing. This guy's taking tank buster shots. The looters are not getting a beamy death gun though. But he's doing some work in there. Now charges out. Took like half of his hit points. We'll see how he goes in the next fight. Where's this guy? He's in the mid. Big zap gun shot from the battle wagon. Nob squad are in there. Looks like they're keeping their power melee huge choppers for now. And we do have Corrosive Devourer Ravener Alpha here. Really powerful plasma weapon. Doesn't want to be in melee with the Nob squad though. Goes down. In fact, all three Tyranid heroes are down now. Here's the third Carnifex. Does indeed go Venom Cannon. So can put some pressure on the battle wagon and use the Bioplasma maybe to get a finish or to hit a Nob squad and disrupt them maybe. There you just saw it. He aimed at the Weird Boy, I think. And there's Rocket Launcher Kommando. Instantly putting huge pressure on. There's GG from Peroncho. 2v1 cap. They've fallen behind the curve a bit. I don't think they can get back in there. Gigandy was stuck in tier 2 for so long with his double Gene Stealers, and they didn't really do a huge amount. Or they didn't even hit level 2. They were just shut down by the Weird Boys so much. Needed to get burrow striking troops in there. Maybe burrowing Raveners would have been the play. The thing is, they would have been spotted by Shooter Boys, Nob Leaders and stuff. It might have been worth it. Or just Ravener Brood to burrow strike, but then you're spending even more in tier 2 at that point. Maybe the Gene Stealers just weren't the play. Maybe you like Tyrant Guard, Zone Throw, go tier 3. Maybe bring the Gene Stealers out after there are melee Carnifexes around to charge in and things like that. Sure, there was a way to make them work in tier 2. 426 to 39. Tyranids aren't giving up. Neurothrope on the way for Gigandy. Another Carnifex for Peroncho. Kicking off in the south a bit, it looks like, actually, as well. Yeah, Carnifex and the Hive Tyrant were trying to pressure the battle wagon a bit, but the Hive Tyrant can't do much with this. Ziltoid? Is it bugged? Is he talking about his Carnifex? He might have lost control of his Carnifex down there. That Carnifex goes down. Peroncho's not happy with top. Whatever that means. Oh, I think he's just complaining about his teammates. Which is something Peroncho's known for, apparently. Yep, just 10 VPs remaining. Orks powering through. Kommando causing all sorts of shenanigans. The Mekboy's electric armor was amazing. Unlike who went into Mega Rumbler too. Repairing the battle wagon. Orks super strong. These guys did get their hammers though, eh? Look at the heroes. End of the game. Level 6 Kommando Nob. Had that rocket launcher. Level 8 Mekboy. Level 4 Warboss. Oh, we had the heavy armor. Up near 2,000 hit points. Makes the Hive Tyrant sad. Level 3 Ravener Alpha. Level 3 Ravener Alpha. And Salazar the Hive Tyrant. Level 3 also. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you all for watching this faction war. Thanks to these players for playing it out. And I'll see you guys next time.